Evan, how are you?
Not too bad, man. What's the crack? How are you getting on?
Tipping along, tipping along. I'd like to start off our discussion today with the concept of progress. Obviously, as an artist, you've really developed over the last 2 years, releasing different collaborations, different remixes of different tracks. But a big thing you've been a part of is kind of the progress of the Waterford scene and taking Waterford from a place where no one even knew that people knew what the drums were in Waterford to being one of the top three up there with Dublin and Limerick as one of the musical hotspots of the country. And Anomaly played a very big part in that. And I'd just like to discuss how you got there.
Yeah, I suppose Jesus, I've never really had to consider, to be honest. Like between ourselves, like the lads in Anomaly and me would be chatting and stuff like that. And sometimes like you get sent the odd thing on Instagram and it's just like, oh, why didn't we get covered? Why didn't we get covered? So I still think we're kind of being slept on a bit, but I don't know. Yeah, it's really weird, to be honest. I think like when Anomaly kind of happened, like at first, it was just kind of like us, and we were just like, Jesus, like there is literally like nothing other than like techno nights going on here. Can we do something to like showcase other musicians and just show that there's something from Waterford? It's not all Dublin, like, do you know what I mean? Like even being in college in Dublin, it was kind of a case. Well, still am, but it's kind of a case like everyone just knows everything in Dublin, but they don't know anything like outside of Dublin. So it's
Outside
kind
the
of
pale.
interesting to, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of interesting to be like, okay, can we get people's attention? Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Jesus. I'm trying to think. I think like the quality of music that we have is definitely like up there 100%. As I said, like with Dublin, with Limerick as well. Even Cork as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much. Even like there's so many little niches in like towns and stuff. There's just mad
Yeah.
stuff.
Drogheda, place
Um
like that.
yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Like yeah, I suppose I don't know. There's no like secret formula or anything
Formula.
that we did. Like, yeah, no, I just think that like I don't know, we were kind of like at the right, not at the right time, but like there was nothing really going on. It was kind of static. Like Waterford itself is normally just bands, really. So it was kind of just showing people, okay, there's more than like techno or like rock. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a case of just like there was obviously like people doing rap, you know what I mean, in Waterford before, like. So I feel like it was kind of just like bringing that back up and showing people like, okay, there is something different. Like you can have a choice, like, do you know what I mean? And from that, then I definitely think like it was kind of like it was weird. So with the events and stuff like that, we kind of had like a cult following. Like, it was really cool. So it was like everyone that came, like we always just chatted away to him anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? It was never like an us and a them. It was just like we like, you know, without being like real cringy, like, but you know what I mean? It was never like where normally you're the fans or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? So I think it was just mutual respect really that kind of led people to like think of us higher, like, do you know what I mean? If you get me. So people were just like, oh, they're just normal lads, like, do you know what I mean? They're not trying to be like whatever, like they're just sound like, and we know them anyway. So yeah, I take that. But even like at the minute, there's just loads of people coming up. Like even a couple of lads from Anomaly, like Seven Eddie, he's class, I think. And I just think the more people kind of look into it and do their own work, really, like artist wise, and kind of make use of what's out there, the better, really, do you know, and kind of try and sound a bit different. Yeah, rather than turn into the next fella beside him and it's just like, oh, John down the road makes stuff like this or whatever. I'm gonna try and do that, like, do you know what I mean? Just not. It's not like from the get go try and find your niche or anything like that. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. Try and be a bit different and show people that there's more to it than just what's available, like, do you know? Because people don't really know what they want till they have it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of need to push them in the right direction to kind of
Yeah, 100%,
get it started. The first time I heard of Anomaly, I believe it was either the summer of 2017 or 18. I was working with Happy Alone at the time with Paddy, and there was an event. It was just before Electric Picnic, if I remember correctly. It was a couple of weeks before then.
I think I know the one. Yeah, was that when Nonzes and Ryan were playing? Like,
yeah,
that was a bit crazy. That one. That's always like the infamous one. I won't ruin anyone's career with this. But no, it was good crack. It was mad, like, because that was definitely the biggest like hip hop gig I've ever seen in Waterford, to be honest, and not being just saying
That was the
because
biggest
like,
hip
oh,
hop gig
Anomaly.
in Munster at the time.
Yeah, true. It was really weird because it was just like that was like I think it was Pat's first gig. I don't know if awkward. I don't think it was Z's first gig, but like it was just mad. Like at the time, we didn't think like too much of it. Like we were kind of looking at like the poster and stuff and looking at the lineup and being like, oh, this would be real cool. Or like we got pictures afterwards of all the lads. They're still like floating around to this day. But it's just like I think we're like in the horrors and we're like, oh, geez, look at this in 5 years' time. Blah blah blah. All that kind of like nostalgic stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a night to remember, and it was definitely good crack, and a lot of stuff happened.
Absolutely. That being said, the first time I heard of you personally was when you were working on the Ghost King is Dead track, Tokyo, that
Yeah,
remix.
yeah, the big acid house remix.
Yeah, exactly. With, you know, being in Cork, Ghost King is Dead and House Sue and everything they're doing is nearly impossible to avoid, and they're doing incredible stuff. What was it like?
100%.
What was it like being involved in that?
Kind of cool. It was trying to remember. It's like I did fairly well, and Colin, like I chat away to Colin as well. So I think I just got a DM off him before, into like a group chat. It was just like, hey, would you like to? It was like a couple of us. I think it was like me, Pat, actual lads, and some of the housey lads as well. And it was just like, oh, do you want to? So that part just like cut out. So I'm just gonna fill it in with this. Basically, there wasn't like too much. I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was probably just explaining that like they hit me up, asked me to remix Tokyo, and that was pretty much it. Just went about it then. So sorry if the audio cuts out. I'm just like, this would be crazy just to make something real haunting and real mad about it. Like, so yeah, I never thought like, oh, what's this? Oh no, it's grand. I never thought I'd make like a big acid house tune from it, but it worked. And like to this day, like people are just like, that's my favorite song of yours, and I'm just like, out of everything I've made, that's your favorite. And I think it's good, but like it's a bit weird like to be liking, but fair play to him, like someone has to like it. I like it. But yeah, it was definitely a weird turn for me considering like the way I've gone with my music now. I'd never not never release an acid house track again or anything like that, or a real like techno track. But I definitely think I've kind of like strayed away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's your favorite track of yours? Since obviously
Ooh,
Tokyo was
that's
the
a really good one. Let me see. I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's a few like I think Exhaust is really good. And not like unbelievable, but it's I think it definitely got like not overlooked. Like no one knew who I was at the time. People still don't know who I am. But anyway, favorite I'd say probably would have been Hourglass for a while, but then like I just heard it so much, I was just like, oh, that song, like, do you know what I mean? Let Loose, I never really listened, because I was just like, I find as the producer and like I make some master my own stuff as well. So it's kind of a case like I've worked on the song so long, I'm not gonna keep listening to it afterwards. So yeah, I kind of get sick of my own songs like easily, which is shit. Favorite song though off the top would be I have to go Hourglass, because it's done
Oh,
so much for
okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
And I love like Shanno's music as well. So it's definitely kind of like it's not like a deep cut in any way. Like it's fairly like accessible, but it's not like generic. But I think it's kind of cool, and it shows like weird stuff in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, example, like the power on, and I'm using kind of like Shanno singing and stuff like that. It's not something you'd usually see. So I think it's kind of cool to be like different like that.
Absolutely. You've obviously released a lot of instrumental tracks, including your latest track, It's Gonna Hurt Me. But a lot of people would kind of know you from your collaborations with the likes of Pat Lagoon, you got Rickshaw, Newfoundland. What's the collaboration process like with them? How does it start? Do they send you a verse and you work around it? Or do you send them a beat and they work around that?
So it's kind of different each time, really. With the, I suppose I'll work back to it. So with the one with Rickshaw Late Night is a case of I just had the beat sitting around for ages, and I was just like, I think I made it around the same time as I made Hourglass, and I was just like, oh, this sounds way too much like Hourglass. I'm not going to do anything with it. And then I left it for like a couple of months, and I was like, oh, like I actually would like to do something with it now. I think it was just during lockdown. It was just like I'd upload like nearly everything I make onto my SoundCloud on private, so I can just like flick through after a while and just see what I have. So I was just flicking through, and I was like, oh, this is kind of good. Like, and I sent it to like Rickshaw, and I sent it to Pat, and I was like, oh, what do you think? Like, should I release this? And Rickshaw was just like, oh, just let me hop on it. I'll try something. And within like half an hour, he just sent me it back. And it sounded class. Like all I had to do was just throw a bit of reverb on it and EQ it, and it was pretty good to go. Like, so that was that. That was definitely the weirdest one. Well, no, actually, I'll get on to the weirdest one with I'll leave Hourglass to last, but with Pat, then it was kind of a case like he was like, oh, could you make me something like this? And he sent me like a reference track. And then I think I made him 3 beats in total. And then like I tried to like not stray away from the reference track, but like put my own spin on it as well. And then I made like 3 beats for him. And then I think he picked out like the 3rd beat, I'd say. And then after that, I did like, geez, I'd say it must have been about 3 or 4 revisions of the beat. And not even like him being like, oh, change this, change this. I was just like, oh, this sounds shit. I need to change this. I need to change that. But finally then I must have been like version 4 of beat 3, like that we went with for Let Loose. So yeah, that was definitely like not, but it was grand. Like, and same with Pat, like he just sent through the verse, like he was really quick turning around as well, so that was perfect. With Newfoundland one, that was definitely the weirdest. Okay, so I don't know if people know, like I don't really tell people about like how it happened, so this will be probably the first time. But basically what happened was I like I was saying, like I like Shannos, and I used like a Shanno sample in Exhaust that I was talking about a few minutes ago. So like after that I was like, oh, I'd like to do something like that again. It never really got the attention because I think at the time it was like Spotify playlists weren't like open to the public and stuff like that. And it was after I released Let Loose, so like they definitely were open then. So it's kind of just looking around for like Shanno's kind of samples. And I came across Newfoundland's cover of The Parting Glass. And I was like, this is so sick. Like, this is unreal. I didn't have too much knowledge of Newfoundland as the band. Like, I knew they were from Waterford, but I didn't really know much about them. So I bought the track, and then I just put it into Ableton, EQ'd it a bit. And then I was just like, okay, let me just make a song around this. And then just made a song around it pretty much. So it wasn't even like going into the studio or anything like that. Like it was literally just like, okay, just like literally just bought the track. Like, so yeah.
And did you need clearance for that? So
yeah, no, I hit him up. Imagine I was just like, nah, I just put it out. I hit him up and I put it out, but way before I put it out because I was sitting downstairs, like here in Dublin, in the box room, and I was chatting to, do you know Fionn Murphy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was chatting to Fionn, and I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, do I even want to put this out because the effort of getting sample cleared, blah blah blah. And he was just like, go on, what worst they're gonna say is nag away, like, and I was like, that is, yeah, that's true.
That hurts.
So, so I was just like, yeah, okay, fair enough. So I texted your man, Evan, he was the main fella in Newfoundland, and he was just like, yeah, cool, no worries, work away, I think it sounds deadly. I was just like, oh, that was fairly easy. And then I was like, oh shit, I actually have to put this out now. Because for ages it was just like, I was just listening to it and I was just vibing away to it. I was just like, oh yeah, this is cool, like, but I don't think I'll ever do anything with it. But yeah, I managed to get it out, and it's brought me a lot more than I could have like thought at the start. Like, so for a track I wasn't even gonna like plan on releasing, done on like I think like my measure anyway.
No, absolutely. What's been inspiring you lately?
Jesus, it's hard to get inspired during like lockdown too, to be honest.
Lockdown 2.0, the remake.
Yeah, it's actually the worst. I know, yeah, Electric Boogaloo. I'm trying to think. Like, I look at like different artists and stuff like that, and I kind of see like, oh shit, like they're really good. Like I could use that as influence. Like James Blake at the moment, I'm like loving James Blake. I have done for a while, but his like latest EP, the Before EP, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more like electronic, so like suits me way more to listen to something like that. But inspiration and stuff like that, I'd say just like Like the biggest inspiration for me is just being like, Jesus, I just have to do something. Like I have to like be somewhere in a couple, like not even a couple of years. Yeah, a couple of years. Like it's kind of just like, Jesus, I just don't want to be working like some shy job. So yeah, it's just kind of like personal pressure I put on myself, and I'm just like, I just have to do something. Like, music wise, then yeah, it's just other artists really I'd look for inspiration from.
Not fantastic. I'm going to ask you a question that I've been meaning to ask a lot of people, but I keep getting too nervous.
Yeah.
What was the last book you read, and when was the last time you were in a bookshop?
Oh, Jesus. Does the library in college count?
I'll take it.
Okay. The last book I read would have been probably like, oh no, I'd be lying if I said like read it from like start to front.
It's up to you. Like,
start to end. I'd say probably like something for my thesis, but like the last book I can honestly remember, like hand on heart, would have been like some Roald Dahl shit, like when I was like 5 years old. Like I do not read books. Like I'm just, I don't know, allergic. I can't read. I just came on and the whole thing is just like, yeah, I can't fucking, what's that mean? It's just like, hey, I'm 22 and I don't know how to fucking read. Yeah, no, I'd never be a big book person.
Would you be more films?
I like film. Yeah, what I've gotten kind of into lately is looking at films and seeing like, shit, it'd be really cool to make like a whole like, not like soundtrack, but like base my music on a film and just get like stuff like inspiration from the film itself and from like video rather than just like other artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like watch way more films than I would books.
What was the last good film you watched?
Oh, good film. We watched one last night. Dolly Parton film. It was, give me 2 seconds. It's called like The Best Little Whorehouse in something. It's like a musical. But I actually thought it was good. I don't be like mad into musicals.
Yeah.
I was watching that and I thought that was good. Last like unreal film I seen, Borat. No, joking. Cinematic masterpiece. No, I'd say Tenet. Tenet was probably the best I've seen in a while.
Incredible movie. Like, I don't see what a lot of people were complaining about. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was deadly, to be honest.
So I've been doing a bit of snooping on your Twitter account. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God,
it's been an emotional roller coaster.
You're telling me.
But I'd like to discuss something you talk quite openly about, and I know it may be a difficult topic, but
I'm
supporting
scared.
Spurs must be terrifying.
Come here, yeah. Sporting Spurs ruins my fucking life. Okay, Sporting Spurs, honestly, like it is the hardest thing ever. I thought you were going to say something about like music, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, what have I said? Like, no, Sporting Spurs is the bane of my life. Like I hate it, but I love it at the same time. It's so shit because like even was it last weekend the West Ham? No, not the weekend just gone, but the previous one, the West Ham result. I was watching the match, like I was working away and I was watching the match and I was like 3-0 after like 20 minutes. I had Son on my fantasy football team. I was like class buzzing. And then they just went to shit. Like I was just like was it Lanzini scored the last one? Like
incredible finish.
Class. Yeah, it was unbelievable. But I was just like, are you actually like if that had been like the only goal they scored, I would have been like fair folks, grand, whatever, we still won. But like they're just fucking I don't know what it is. Like I wouldn't have anything to say to them. But yeah, it's just inconsistency. Inconsistency is the biggest thing with Spurs. It's so shit. But no, I'm happy with like summer transfer window and stuff like that. Like the players that got in seem serious. Like the two fullbacks definitely Matt Doherty. Actually buzzing to see Bale back. I was talking to Pat for ages because he's Sports United and they were linked with Bale as well. And I was just like, honestly, like I don't see Bale going to United. It came back and I was just like, oh yeah, he's grand. Like, so yeah, hopefully he can be good. I think he scored or he assisted during the Europa League there like last week. So
yeah, probably
he pushes on. Are you Arsenal? Is it?
Oh yeah. I'm Arsenal. I actually have an interview with Mikel Arteta at 1:30. today.
No way, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I better not run over time. So,
Oh no, don't worry. You've
okay.
got plenty of time.
Yeah. More time to look in the Spurs. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'd say Sporting Arsenal is way worse than Sporting Spurs. Like we have like but I don't know. Like Arsenal kind of are a bit exciting at the moment, I suppose.
Arsenal have good fun, and you're guaranteed a trophy every 3 years, pretty much.
Yeah, can't say the same for us.
So, and it's grand. Like we have our highlights, we have our favorite players. I'm loving what Mikel Arteta is doing. I can't
He's
say
playing his football with them.
exactly. Yeah, he's having fun, and at times they're not a team I hate to watch, which can't be said for a lot of teams.
Yeah, that's what they play good
Leicester.
football. Yeah, against Leicester, like that was cap. But like I didn't watch the match, I seen all match of the day, and like they seemed like fairly all over him. It was just, but when I seen the starting 11, I was like, if they're playing Xhaka and Luis in a back three, I was just like, Jesus, they're going to concede like 3 or 4 tonight. Like, but yeah. It's a hard life for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah, but at least it's not United, United and Chelsea.
It could be so much worse. Yeah. Any United fans listening, some those hate to be.
How does Frank Lampard still have a job? Any other manager, he would have been sacked weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say there's definitely like an English bias. They're definitely just like, oh, give him time. He's good English young manager, blah blah blah, all that kind of shit.
And Ole as well. I don't know how he has a job too.
Yeah, man, he should be sacked. Like, he's so cursed. Like, he's actually fucked.
The man loves Paris. He loves Paris.
Or did you ever see like some of the interviews he comes out like where it was the Chelsea game the weekend, and he was just coming out and he was just buzzing, like smiling ear to ear, and he was just like, "Oh, geez, yeah, it's a really good result." Blah blah blah. And it's just like, man, how are you fucking smiling? Like they'd be having to get bet like 5-0, and he was just like smiling ear to ear, and he's like,
he's such a positive man.
Yeah, he's really positive. Couldn't be that positive, like especially after a defeat. Like I'd be cracking.
Have you ever written a beat post Spurs frustration?
No, but there was a thing. Just quick answer, no. There was a thing at the start of the season. I was just like, "Oh, we're gonna play your music in the stadium, blah blah blah. Submit your music." And I was texting Pat, and I was like, "Let Loose would be class, like in a fucking White Hart Lane, like." And it never got picked up. But if it did, that'd be so lit. Like imagine just like watching Spurs games, like Anomaly scores a hat trick, and it's just like unreal. It's my jam.
What's been your favorite moment as a Spurs fan?
Ajax. Jesus. Ajax was class. Ajax was so good. I was down in Dunleary in college, and I think we had a few cans down there, so I got the 46A back up to the house. So I was a bit tipsy, and I was just like trying to check the score, couldn't find the score. I don't know, it was just couldn't see the screen, I'd say. But it was I got back home and I turned it on, and it was like going into like the 80th minute, and I was like, oh my god, like what's happening? Like this is ridiculous. Lucas Moura should honestly have a contract with Spurs for like his entire life. Like they should just pay his wages for life. Greatest player ever. Like he's definitely like a cult hero. He's not even that good, but I just think he's a legend. Like, and on FIFA he's really good.
He is. He's a good buy, like good bargain buy, like.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And what's been the most frustrating? I mean, the final when you lost it inside 18 seconds must have been pretty.
Like the final was just so like shit. It was like they rushed Kane back, but I do think that was probably Kane by himself being like, fuck the lot.
Kane does seem like the type of guy who just loves getting in the lineup and ruining a game.
Yeah, he was definitely just like, fuck this, I'm playing this Champions League final. It was just so, like, the way we just lost it so quick, I was just like, well, fuck this. It kind of just summed up like life being a Spurs fan. It was just over before it started, like, you know. So yeah, that was no further comments. It was just awful.
No, I feel your pain, man. It just like there's far more pain being an Arsenal fan than there is joy.
Yeah, I can definitely sympathise with that anyway.
Not easy. No, absolutely. It'll give you heart problems if you don't already have them.
Yeah, 100%.
It'll
when you said the
decrease your
Twitter
life
thing,
expectancy within for 10 years.
yeah, honestly, I just vent about him so much on Twitter, like, but like sometimes I'm the worst. I'll be just like, I'd see the score go, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I think it was like against West Ham. I was just like, are we winning the league or something like that? Something fucking stupid.
You
I
did.
tweeted. Yeah, you definitely saw that. I should have deleted that actually. But yeah, definitely comes back to bite you. So I don't know. I'll have to kind of contain myself more. Who are they playing this weekend? They're playing. I don't know. I'll check it out and see. Who are Arsenal playing actually?
Arsenal are playing Man United on Sunday.
Fuck. Are they at home? Or away?
No, we're away.
Fuck. Oh, but then against United, like, you know. Spurs are against Brighton. Yeah, we'll just be Brighton are playing good, but
Brighton are playing well.
they're not getting results. So
Yeah, they're no Everton like.
yeah, everything are mad, man.
Apart from losing 3-0 to who was it? Villa?
No, it was Southampton. Southampton of all teams. I had Lucas Digne in my fantasy football. Got sent off and got me -2 points.
How are you doing in your fantasy football? Because mine's so erratic. I only think I've got above average 3 times.
I'd get like 70 points one week and then I'd get like 20 the next. It's so shit. I'll have a look there now at the tables and see. We've an Anomaly league and I'm third behind Palagoon and Wangi. So not bad people to be behind. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm doing like okay. Like as I said, it's pretty erratic. Like I could get like unreal score one week and then the next week just get like almost get like minus points. Like
Who's your star player?
Ooh, fuck, I don't know.
Who's your captain?
Captain, I haven't changed my captain once, and it's Salah the whole time.
Okay.
So I just think like he's gonna score most weeks. So I may as well just keep him captain. I have Salah, Son, and Calvert-Lewin. So it's
not too shabby.
bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's grand enough. There's a few people I have there, like Walker and Mars, that definitely just need to get rid of them. I got Joe Gomez at the weekend because I was just like clean sheet against Sheffield United, surely. Obviously not, like concede a fucking penalty. I have Tino Werner as well, so I think I might just sell him because he's not doing anything at all. And I've been watching the matches. I got Now TV there a while ago. Sponsor. No, I got Now TV there a while ago. So I've been watching like all the matches while I'm working and stuff. And Werner just plays like as a winger. So I don't think I'm going to keep him in my team. Just purely for that.
Callum Wilson's doing me bits. Like,
yeah, I had him at the start, and I was just like, oh, he'll get 2 goals, and that'll be it. But nah, he's just getting like loads of goals. Like, so yeah, I might get him back. I don't know. I've Danny Ings as well, so it's not too bad.
How do you have all strikers? Do you have any midfielders in your team?
No. So my defense, I'll just name out my starting 11, right? So I've Gaeta in goal, the Crystal Palace keeper, Digne, Walker, Gomez, and Reece James. Then I have Mahrez, Salah, Son, and up front then I have Danny Ings, Werner, and Calvert-Lewin.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, it's actually grand. Like on paper, like it's class, but like when they go and play, it's shit. All my subs then are just like 4.0 or 3.9. Like they're never gonna play. Like
yeah. So I suppose we best talk about music, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a football podcast now. Like,
so let's just, what's really interesting about your music and what you do is the visual aspect to it. You've obviously released visuals or visualizers for nearly every track. Do you do that yourself or?
Yeah, I do it myself. Thanks for noticing, because sometimes I feel like, Jesus, I put this out and like no one will see it like 100% of the time. I'm thinking that. But yeah, no, I did it all myself. Like I would have done like a good bit of, well, I still do like a good bit of the video work for like Anomaly and stuff like that. Like in post, like Fiona Shooter or whatever. But yeah, for like the promo and video stuff, I just do it myself. I find it easier than like telling someone what I want. If I can just like have an idea, get it out onto a computer, it's way easier than trying to like explain it to someone.
Yeah.
And it's just so much more time for like, sorry, 2 seconds.
Take your time.
Just let me throw it there. There's so much more time for like experimentation and stuff like that. Because if I see something doesn't work, I was just like, okay, I'll just get rid of it straight away, rather than like getting someone to do revisions of it and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely think like the visual side, I think the visual side is so important, to be honest, just because, well, for me anyway, I just want to show like there's more to it than the music. Like there's more layers to it. I'm not just like, okay, I'm making songs. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I have like a thought process behind it. Like,
No, absolutely. And last question before I let you go, because I do realize that I've kept you for far, far too long.
No, you're going to somewhere.
Is what's next? What have you got on the horizon? Is it work with other people? Is it kind of more instrumentals?
No, it's definitely work. I see. Oh, it's really weird, right? So trying to work with people is definitely the hardest thing ever because I never know how to go about it. Like, do I just like email them or do I like just TM them or something like that? Because I'm always trying to work with like bigger people. If that makes sense. So I'm just like, oh fuck, not too big. Like, there's still Ireland. Like, you know, it's not like I'm fucking hitting up like Drake.
Yeah.
But nah, it's just like, oh, sometimes it's just like kind of frustrating trying to work with people. So yeah, I'd say trying to work with people, like hopefully. But with the instrumental stuff, I'm kind of just like, oh, I'm some bastard for this. So like, I'd make something like I wouldn't make instrumental stuff because like it doesn't sound as good to me as like something with vocals on it. So like say even with It's Gonna Hurt Me, I think it's way easier. So say like there's a vocal sample on that, but it just like repeats and repeats and repeats. So I think it's way easier to like tell a story or
Get an emotion across.
message. Yeah, 100%. And that's one thing that I try and definitely like proactively do, like get a bit of emotion into the song and get a message across. And even for visuals and stuff like that, I try and align them like with the song itself. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's definitely like, I don't know, instrumental stuff is kind of just like I couldn't see myself unless I was just like making a fucking techno song or something like that. I couldn't really see myself doing something like it for a while. But it doesn't have to be like a pop song that I'm doing at all. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can still be like electronic or whatever. But yeah, for the future, I'd say it's just like working with people. Definitely trying to get my visual side out there a lot more. And yeah, hopefully 2021 is a lot better than 2020. 2020 was grand, obviously, other than all this, like, but
The
hopefully we
world.
can just, yeah, literally, yeah. But no, hopefully we can just get back to normal and just like I don't know. I wasn't gigging too much beforehand. Like we're doing the Anomaly events, so I'm just kind of like, I didn't really miss gigs. Like I wasn't really doing them, but definitely going to gigs. I was cracking. Like, actually as well, Alex's shows. I bought like 3-4 tickets to Alex's shows. All of them cancelled. This is me calling him out if he's listening. Give me my money back. When are the shows gonna happen?
He just announced one for London.
He just announced a London show. So like I better get like my fucking flight paid for, hotel paid for, because I bought too many tickets for too many gigs off Alex Goff.
Evan, thank you so much for your time.
No worries, man.
Really
Thanks so
do
much for having
appreciate
me.
it. Oh no, it's an absolute pleasure.